Entrance reducers. Does the size of your opening really matter?
That's what she said.
Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome to the beekeeping tip of the day, day 3. Today I want to talk to you about entrance reducers, when to use them, why to use them, and how to use them. So as a brand new beekeeper, you have package bees or a nucleus colony, a really small brand new colony. When you're first setting these up, you're going to have to make a decision about how wide the entrance is. And what I mean by that is your hive body is going to be sitting down on top of a bottom board. And where that bottom board interacts with the hive body, that's where the bees are typically coming in and out. Now, you can go ahead and drill holes in and have entrance points being a big hole. There's a couple different ways to do things, but generally speaking, the bottom of the hive where it meets the bottom board, that's where the entrance is going to be. What you'll normally see is if somebody buys an entrance reducer, it usually has 3 settings. There's the setting that's about 3/4 of an inch wide. There's the one that's about 3 to 4 inches wide. And then the options from there are either completely closed or gone. So it's wide open, closed, 3/4 of an inch, 3 to 4 inches. If you have a brand new colony, I recommend leaving it at that 3/4 inch setting for really the first couple of months. Wait until the traffic jam getting in and out is just atrocious. Now, what I want you to think about is when bees live in a tree, or if you've ever gone to a house where you see honeybees that have actually established a home inside of a house, you see them going into an awning or into the siding, it's usually a really small hole. They don't need a huge entrance to get in and out of the hive. Now, managing that entrance size has a lot of benefits, pros and cons to it that you need to be aware of. The bigger the entrance, the more space they have to defend. The smaller the entrance, the less they have to defend, but the fewer bees they can get in and out. So you could say, well, because the entrance is so small in this, during a peak nectar flow, we're reducing our production by 20% because it's taking them so long to get in or out. Well, that's a trade-off you might have to make for kind of the safety of the hive, for them to not have to defend that bigger space. But in the springtime, you don't usually have a lot of problems with robbing and with, other bees and wasps and things messing with them. Resources are abundant, so there's not a whole lot of things to fight over. It's when those resources run out that you really got to pay attention. So what I tell everybody is use a small entrance at the beginning of the season. When you're about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through your nectar flow, you're going to be able to tell, right? You're going to be able to tell when things are just so busy at that front entrance. Open it up, make it a little bit wider. If it's a production colony that's overwintered, you can pretty much go wide open with them very early because they're going to ramp up so fast. But as you get to a period of dearth, and I'm speaking to my area, everybody's area is going to be different, right? If you don't know for sure what your area is going to look like, go with the smallest entrance for the first, let's say, 4 to 6 weeks, and go to the 3 to 4 inch entrance for the rest of the year. And then don't worry about anything else. You still need to be mindful of the fact that at the end of the season, you might have mice and things that are trying to sneak in. So you might want to put a mouse guard on or take other proactive measures to prevent them from getting in. But you can just leave the 3 to 4 inch entrance reducer on pretty much year round if that's the approach that you want to take. Now, the one area I think it's really, really important here, and I want you guys to listen and stay with me. I run my entrances wide open quite a bit most of the spring. When the summer hits, I go to that 3 to 4 inch entrance, and typically over winter, I just use the 3/4 inch. That's what I usually do. I've left them wide open before. I've done the 3 to 4 inch. I've done the 3/4 inch. I don't see a huge difference, but what you need to pay attention to is the condensation inside the hive. You don't want to completely close everything up. You want some cool air to come in to reduce the amount of condensation over the winter. So that's a really important thing to keep in mind. Now, at this time of year specifically, the issues we're going to have now is robbing. You may have a fall flow on where you are, you might not, but if you have a really, really big entrance, it's going to be really difficult for the bees to defend that, especially if they had a dearth and their population is ramping down kind of right before the fall ramp up. We're coming into a time period now where you should be beginning to see like a fall flow. They will ramp up more of your fall and your overwintering brood, and the bees that are going to become the cluster of bees that overwinter. So before that ramp up takes place, the population can be diminished just a little bit because there's no new brood being reared. So I know I talked a whole lot about this. This is a subject I can probably do a full episode on, and I may very well do that, but quick highlights one last time. The smaller entrance early in the season is going to be the great way to go for package bees. The 3 to 4 inch is great for pretty much year round. You can overwinter with that. You can take it all the way down to the 3/4 of an inch, and that's fine too. And like I said, you got to have some air coming in the wintertime to reduce the condensation. So folks, that's all that I've got for you today on the day 3 tip of the day. If you found any value, please consider subscribing. And if you wouldn't mind, just really gently tap that like button for me. If you would like to see something else, I've got about another 27 days worth of tips of the day. So if there's something you want to hear, you want to see, or you think everybody's got to know about, drop a comment below and we'll try to get to it. Outside of that, take care, be kind to one another, and remember that I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.